Welcome to the fish tank.
Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to the second video in the series for fish rack comparisons. This is going to be about filter cleaning. And right off the top I want to say that this is a truly unfair comparison. But it needs to be done. You notice the water flowing through the ones on the left here? You see it's overflowing in the top? That's a great way to tell that a tray needs to be cleaned. And all you need to do for their cleaning in this is to unplug the pumps, let them drain down as they've done here, and then just pull whatever's in the tray out. The one on the left, I have some rabbit's foot fern rhizomes that I'm keeping alive, and also some lava rock that I'm curing. You can do lots of things with a trickle filter. It's really kind of cool. And usually when I do a filter cleaning like this, at the same time, I will also do a water change. You can see that happening below. It just helps flush out any dirt that's also accumulated or knocked loose or whatever while I'm doing this. And that is as simple as that. Now, I haven't cleaned the lower trays on this rack in forever. Actually, I don't think I ever have. And it really is necessary because they tend to self-clean. In other words, anything extra gets knocked off. Now I just refill the stuff that I keep in the tray, and then that is done. That is 23 aquariums cleaned. And yeah, that's as simple as that. We're a minute into the video, and we're going to switch over to the other one now. This is an easy way of telling if a box filter needs to be cleaned. Pull out the air and see how long it takes for the water to fill back up into the pipe. Of course, the pipe needs to be near the surface, but it's an easy way of telling. And this filter definitely needs to be cleaned because that takes quite a while. And that's just telling you that the flow rate through the filter is really low. And this is the other one. This is the cylindrical one. This one I won't be cleaning because, well, first off, it doesn't need to be cleaned. You see how it just bounces really fast. Also, that tank has 3 filters on it, and there's just endlers in there. So it's going to be a while before that thing gets dirty enough to have to be cleaned. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean the square box filter. This has got some loam on the bottom and some dirt and whatnot. And this is actually the first time I've cleaned this. This is one of the DIY builds I did. And one of the funny things about cleaning it is I found out that, well, machining it to friction fit tolerances is a little bit difficult to get them apart. But other than that, it was fairly straightforward. But actually, nowhere near as simple as obviously cleaning the other one. I think I took about maybe 4 minutes to clean, and that's including filming the trickle filter system for the first rack. And then the other filter that I'm cleaning for this rack also took like maybe 3 or 4 minutes. The rest of the video, the rest of the time I spent making this video was cleaning this one. I mean, it's a bit of unfair because, like I said, it's a bit of a tight fit, and as this filter wears, that time will be reduced. But like I said, it's one of those things that you need to look at when you're deciding what to do for a fish room. So the box actually turned out pretty good. I mean, it did remove a lot of dirt, which is important. I mean, the whole point of having a filter is to remove any extra mold that's in the tank and also to provide a biological filtration system. I mean, you want to get the fish to be healthy, so you have to obviously do the nitrogen cycle thing and all that. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but it is important to have that be efficient so that you don't get any spikes. And that actually brings me to a rather important thing about this style of rack versus the other one. When I clean the rack for the 23 tanks, I don't touch the media, the lava rock that's underneath it. It stays. So the biological filtration never gets interrupted. I turn it off, flush it, fill it back up in a few minutes, and I've never really had a spike of anything on any of those tanks. And if you're in this other style, if you have a single filter in it, either a sponge filter or box filter or outside power filter or whatever, you need to take that into account, that when you clean it, you need not make sure you don't disturb the filter too much. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to rinse off the rocks in tank water, and then just going to fill it all back up, and I'm going to cut fresh foam for it and put it back in. This particular tank only has 1 filter on it. It is again one of the things I'm trying to compare and see how it turns out. I don't really expect any issues with it because, I mean, a lot of tanks I maintain for clients also only have a single filter on it, so it's no big deal. That, by the way, is just a neat trick. If you want to find the center for cutting a hole, you just fold it twice and then just cut the corner off, and you can have properly filled film. I don't know, silliness. Anyway, so just put the lid back on, put it back in the tank. You'll notice that the water is a little bit cloudy. It's very difficult and actually inadvisable to clean anything too thoroughly when you're cleaning a filter. That rock needs to keep a little bit of that mulm on it and a lot of the bacteria. So here, after it's cleaned, pull the pipe out and you see it fills right up right away, and you know it's nice and clean. It's just a little trick. It's not really that important, but it's just something to keep in mind if you use a lot of box filters, and actually probably even sponge filters for that matter. So here is the filter that I actually think I like the most so far of all the DIY ones. This is the, well, air power lift, power filter, whatever you want to call it. This is an outside hang in the back filter, and I'm really actually impressed by how much dirt this thing collects. So all you need to do to clean this is disconnect the air. And once the air is done, it just drains down to a proper level. You just pull it off the back of the tank. I mean, it's the same as cleaning any other hang-in-the-back filter. You just pull it off, take it over, rinse it out, and put it all back together. And because there's no parts to take apart really, except taking the input pipes off, it's very easy. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull out a little bit of the Java moss that collected in the input. I'm going to pull that sponge out. And just to show, this is a fairly large sponge hole. Like it's an open sponge with fairly large holes, but it does actually collect an awful lot of dirt. So what I wanted to show you here is just clean tank water, and I'm going to rinse that, and just to show you how much dirt that this thing removed. I'm very impressed with this filter. Of the 3 so far that I've made, this is probably the most efficient one. Now, I must also state that this thing's on a tank with plecos, so it does get a chance to remove a lot more dirt than the other 2 do. But, you know, like I said, it's this kind of thing that you need to keep in mind when you're building these things. So now this is a simple matter of dumping out the container. And a little aside here, if you want to grow really big ram's horn snails, put them in a tank where you're trying to raise plecos, because they really like that environment. So I'm just going to rinse this out. I don't, as you may have noticed so far in the video, I don't wipe down and clean filters. They're going to get dirty, and I don't, this is just for my own shop, so I don't really worry about it that too much. But that's an impressive amount of dirt. I'm just going to give it a quick stir here because like I said, I was kind of surprised at actually how much it did remove. It's not that big of a thing, but it's cool. So anyway, all I need to do now, this is actually probably the easiest of those 3 filters to clean. All I need to do now is just put those bits of lava rock back into that container, put the sponge back in, and then hook up the air again. And like I said, it's very straightforward, and like I said, not hard to do. Now, I cleaned 2, I have to write 2 filters for the 3 tanks that I have running on this, and I think it took me about 20 to 25 minutes to do those 2 filters, and that's 2 filters for 2 tanks whereas it took me less than 5 minutes to do the filtration system for that entire other rack. And like I said, I admit it right off the top, it's a very unfair comparison. And in future videos, I am going to be going to other aspects of these racks and why this style does have its benefits, and it's not all about just how much work you need to put into to clean it. There are other things that are important, and then again, at that point, this rack will actually show why I decided to make it. So anyway, this is up and running now. This one has a sponge filter on it as well. And once this filter runs for a little bit, you can see it's all nice and clean now. And by the way, for cleaning this, deciding when to clean this filter, there's the overflow part you have to watch. Unfortunately, I didn't mention that earlier. I'll try and put that in a comment. These are all the Gamaris and shrimp that I removed during this filming, and I don't like to waste things. I'm going to feed them to some fish, and also I use them to seed any tank that doesn't have them yet. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you like this style of video. If you do, please like and or subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think of each of these things. And of course, because I started that new series about viewer requests, let me know if there's anything in there that interests you. And we're going to end this off with me feeding some of these poor little guys to some severums, but keep in mind that I have hundreds of thousands of these things. They're just absolutely everywhere. But it makes the severums really happy. So thank you very much for watching. As always, thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.